I'm Salamita, and I will be taking over Dennis's channel today to show you some of my top UI UX design tips. As some of you already know, I am a graphic and web designer for my husband, who is a full stack developer. I'm actually also studying to be a front-end developer, which I'm really excited about, and I have worked alongside other devs for over 6 years. So I really hope that my tips will help you if this is something that you're struggling with. First, let's start with the tips for UI. This means user interface. It's everything of the visuals, from colors to typography to layout and to pictures. This is really important because obviously you want to make a good first impression, and a lot of people struggle with this part right off the bat, and it makes sense why, but I hope these little things that I will be sharing with you will help guide you in the right direction. So tip number 1 is to try sticking to 2 or 3 colors. The reason for this is that it will be way too distracting if you use more than that, and it will take away from the product or the experience of the user. So the way that you want to choose good colors is to try not using true colors, which are bright reds, greens, all of those. You want to choose just shades of them instead, because this will be much easier on the eyes, and I will show you an easy way to do that where you don't have to figure out which colors work together and which pairings are well. So my favorite tool for creating color palettes when I'm working on a project is color.adobe.com, and I'll show it for you here in a second. But the reason why I love this as a designer specifically, if you are one, is that it automatically syncs your palettes and saves them for you in Illustrator and Photoshop. Sorry, I forgot the names for them. But you can still use them and you can still save the palettes if you're working on a project, which is really convenient and nice. But let's get into it. I'll show you what the site looks like. So here's their site, and it's very amazing for several reasons, and you will see why, and I'm sure you're going to love it also. It'll make your life a lot easier. So the first thing right off the bat is the fact that they already have custom groupings. This is based off of color theory. So for example, they have complementary, which is a very popular one, and shades, but you can obviously go around and use all of them. So instead of trying to guess which colors work well together, if you want to go for a more fun and bubbly type of palette, depending on the industry that you're building the website for, of course, it just automatically shows you which are good, and you can just move it around, based off of the shades that you want in that color grouping, and you can get the hex right away over here. You just copy paste it into your code, and the RGB right here, and you can even customize it more by moving these little sliders around. So it's very helpful, and then right here you can save it. So the next great thing about this site is the fact that you can immediately see if your palette is colorblind friendly. So all you have to do is just go to the accessibility tools, and it'll show you your palette, and right here you will see if the colors are good together or not. So it's A, C, and E right now. It says that they are in conflict, so all you have to do is grab them. These are the A, C, and E. You just grab them and move them around, and it'll update you on that left side over here if you're getting better at finding a colorblind friendly color. So you just have to move it around a little bit, play around with it. Seems like it's just taking a while to find a good one. Wow, these are like not good. What's going on? Okay, there we go. So now we made it a lot more colorblind safe. It says no conflicts found, swatches are colorblind safe. So good to go there. And the other few things that are great is the fact that you can extract a theme or a gradient from a picture, and you can also explore color palettes, which is really nice. They're just pre-made already based off pictures, and you can also get them from trends and let's see here, like industries. So there's a fashion one, graphic design, illustration. So these are pre-made palettes for you, and you can just go in and just use them right away. And then there's obviously the libraries where you have to sign in for. So tip number 2 for good UI is to stick to no more than 2 fonts. The reason for this is the same as the colors. You don't want it to be too distracting, and you want it to be easy to read. You should also save the fun fonts for heroes and headers, and keep simple fonts for paragraphs, because people need it to be easier to read, but something like a hero and header is short and sweet, so you can have fun with those fonts. And also stick to those 2 fonts throughout the entire page. Don't use different fonts on different pages because you want to keep the theme and just complete the entire site together so that it flows. So if you struggle with font pairings like I do, I created a Pinterest board where some professionals have actually shared font pairings even from Google Fonts, so it saves a lot of time, and that way you can just see right away which two work together. And I'll go ahead and show you guys these right now. So here's the Pinterest board. I will link it below, but here are some font pairings right here that work well together. So anytime I have a project, I just go here right away, pick one that I think fits the industry that I'm working for, and yeah, just see what works well, and this should help for you. And obviously, you know, there's also some color pairings here that help, and some web design inspiration if you need some help with that. So let's move on to UX, or user experience. This means a good flow for the site visitor. So one way to make sure that you have good user experience is to make sure that the landing page has educated, inspired, and entertained the visitor. So I'll go in and explain each one of these, and I'll show you a website that encompasses all of them in one. So entertain means good visuals and good design. This is your chance to be unique and to stand out. Educating means that they can see right away what the product is and what it's for, so that when they come on the site, they are immediately aware of what's going on and they don't have to search for it anywhere. And then inspire means that you are showing the object or the service that you provide in action or on location. And I will show you what I mean by that in this one really cool website that I'm excited to share. So I love this website. It is so fun and so beautiful for my style, at least. So let's go here. Right away, they educate you on what it is and how it works, basically. So it has all the little features right here, which is nice. They entertain by, you know, having a fun, unique way to see what these what the options are for this product, and they inspire us by showing it in action. So right here, clearly it's for a kitchen, and you know, they have little bowls and cups that they also sell, and you know, they have, you know, what it's meant for, so they show you, you know, how to envision it, how to envision this product. And another form of entertainment is obviously this cool little text thing that they have going on here. So find sites like this and see why they work. It's really helpful, and it'll give you ideas on how to do this for your own site. So my last piece of advice is basically a summary of the first one, which is clarity. What I mean by that is understanding what your site visitor is there for and understanding the flow of how they might be searching for something. So putting everything on the landing page that will answer their questions immediately, and I'll be showing you some good and bad examples of that. So a good example would be if your client is a restaurant owner, your landing page should right away have pictures of the food, a menu, and the environment, because that's all that people care about when they are, you know, trying to figure out what you're about. And then they'll go and search for the reviews and other little details like about, you know, the chef or in the, you know, the staff and everything like that. So save that for later, but you don't want to frustrate them by adding in all of those things right away. So you want to be very clear and straightforward for something like that. So a not so good example of good UX would be this brand called Patagonia. They are a clothing website, but the first thing I get right away from this is that it looks like a retreat, because if it was about clothes, they wouldn't be sitting because it's kind of covering their outfit, and you don't really get, you know, the fact that they're trying to sell these jackets and everything and the shoes. But especially the rest of it, as you keep scrolling, it just kind of looks like a blog or a photography page, which would be great, you know, UX for and UI for something like that. But for a clothing store, I would definitely recommend having close-ups of someone standing or walking or, you know, something like that. So to close out, I just wanted to say, you know, that art has no limits, and I think that's the reason why so many people struggle with it. So studying successful websites and applying these tips can make that process a lot quicker, and it doesn't have to be so overwhelming. As a developer, my husband definitely struggles with design, and seeing the way that I lean him into certain design directions, he has caught on to it, and it's actually helped him a lot in his prototyping process when he works on a project. So I hope this really helps you too. And we actually did a live with a Q&A at the end where you guys were asking more questions. So if you haven't seen it yet, I'd recommend watching that and seeing if it answers any more of your questions, and I will link it below. So Thanks again for watching, and I hope that this really helped you.